Hi everybody, working on the low budget build here. I've got, let's see, in the last episode I just finished drilling all the holes in the body. If you were looking closely, I forgot to drill one of the tuner holes out all the way. I went ahead and did that. And when I went to fit the tuners, if you were looking closely in the last episode, the tuners clocked in at some size, and I had like the next size up, the next size down a drill bit, but nothing exactly the same size. So I went for the slightly smaller one. It's like, 3/10 of a millimeter smaller in the diameter of the tuners. I thought it'd give me a nice press fit, but it was a little bit too small. So I just cleaned it up a bit with the reamer. But if you don't have a reamer, what you probably want to do would be you drill it through all the way through with the smaller drill bit, and then step up to the slightly larger drill bit and drill it halfway through from the back so that you could get them started, and then you get your little press fit on the top side. And that would probably work pretty good. And of course, if it still didn't want a press fit, then you could just drill them all the way through and they'd be a drop fit. And then you'd just have to... the only disadvantage to drilling it to a drop fit is that when you're trying to line them up and screw them down, they won't just automatically stay wherever you put them while you're screwing them down. You got to like hold them into place probably. So, or just be careful that they don't move on you. So, but anyway, so here's so now all the holes are big enough and all the holes are drilled, and I went ahead and did a mock-up of what the tuners are going to look like, and this is what the basic layout will look like here. And so now I think it's time to start on the neck. It's going to be the next thing here. So time to get on that. Okay, this is going to be a headless guitar, and we're going to use the original nut. And the basic idea is we're going to cut it off so that we maintain or retain the shoulders here so that you can hang it up on a guitar hanger or something like that. And then we're going to drill some string through holes here with some straight pull through if possible. And then we run it over the nut, and that takes care of the top end of the guitar on the neck. And then as far as the rest of the neck goes, it's going to get you mark out the center line, you mark out your 10 millimeter spine, you plane the whole thing down to 20 mil thick, and then you go ahead and you carve your two facets for your trapezoid profile. And you mark out your 40 by 90 heel here, and you remove all the excess material in the shoulders of the heel here, and you blend the trapezoid into the triangular heel shape. And it has a flat heel. The heel's no thicker than the rest of the neck. So yeah, that's the basic approach. I think I might start with a little angle grinder this time in order to try to speed things up a bit. Last neck I did it all Shinto rasp, and I mean it doesn't, I think I did the whole neck in like about 2 hours. Just, Shinto rasp, holding it in my hand and sitting down and watching TV and rasping away. So it's not really difficult, but the angle grinder with the 40 grit flapping disc will save a little bit of time. So, and yeah, it depends on whether I get tired of rasping with a hand rasp and whether I'm impatient or not. So we'll see what happens. I'm not really in a rasping kind of mood, I guess you would say. So I'm kind of thinking maybe I might use the angle grinder, at least in the beginning, especially to get rid of this stuff. Because there's a lot of material you got to remove from the shoulders here of the original heel. Even after you plane it down, you get the same thing as what you've got here. It's just all of it's about that much lower. But you still got to take all this material out in here because your heel is only going to be about this big. So yeah, let me get to marking and cutting and filing and stuff like that, grinding. Don't want this hole, but I want as much of the rest as I can get, so we'll mark the line so that the hole is right at the top edge of the neck. Kind of like that. That's going to be my cut line. And then I think I'll cut it and then I'll worry about where the string holes go. Okay, time to cut this headstock here. This would be the low budge way to do it, would be a saw. But in order to save a bit of time, I'm going to use a jigsaw. Yeah. Hard maple, slow and steady gets it. I'll be back. Not the world's straightest cut, but Shinto rasp and sander will clean it up nice. Okay, time to mark out the neck here. I went ahead and struck a center line, and then I marked out the 10mm wide spine on either side of the center line. So that takes care of that part. Now I need to mark out the heel. Okay, I got the heel marked out. Unfortunately, I forgot that I need to plane this thing down first. It's already 20mm here, but it's way thicker than 20mm here, so it's going to be time. I think it's time to plane this thing down. Okay, lots of ways you can do this. Starting at the bottom end, just a basic kitchen knife, and use it as a draw knife. And this kind of thing, you shape the whole neck that way, and then you finish out with a sanding block. Use a plane to take this down level. Hand plane, I'm going to be using a power plane. Use a hammer and chisel. You can use a CNC machine. You could use a thickness planer. Well, no, maybe not, because you got the headstock, so that wouldn't work. You could, like, if there's a way to, like, stick something part way in a thickness planer and then pull it back out, you could do that, I suppose. So yeah, a wide variety of ways that you could do this. Me personally, I'm just going to be using the power planer. And all I'm going to do is just get the calipers and you start buzzing it down and you measure and you buzz and measure and plane until it's flat. You want it 20 millimeters the full length of the neck up to this line right here is the nut line basically. So I'm going to more or less leave this portion of the headstock alone, and we're going to shape up to here and then use this area in here for blending. And down at this end, I'm going to leave the triangle heel alone and then blend from the spine and the trapezoid into the triangle. I think that triangle's too wide actually. That's supposed to be 40 and I made that a 56. I'll have to fix that too. I got to redraw it anyway because I'm going to plane all this off. Kind of keep going like that. You want to constantly, like, you can plane a little bit and it'll get to the point where you do a little cut and a little spot and then you got to check it, like after every cut with the calipers, and eventually you get it down within like a tenth where you want to be, and then you can finish out with sanding. I'll be back once I'm done playing with this thing. Okay, it's all planed down. It's no thinner than 20 and no thicker than 20 and a half the whole way. And that ought to do it. Sanding will take care of anything else. So, need to mark this stuff back out, and then I can get to carving. So there it is, all marked out again. 40 millimeter wide heel this time, and 90 long, and the spine, and the nut line, and then blend, and fair amount of material to remove here and here. Other than that, not a whole lot of material to remove, so I might like zap this stuff with the angle grinder right quick, and maybe just make like one quick pass down the side with the angle grinder, if that even, and then finish out with the Shinto rasp. So that's the basic idea. You just slowly but surely sculpt away. So I'm going to sculpt away and I'll be back.